Do you want to learn the Romanian deadlift? Well, if you don't, you probably should. It's a really great exercise. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best to target your hamstrings directly. The Romanian deadlift is a variation of the deadlift, putting a greater emphasis on the back of your legs, your hamstrings. Today, we're going to break down the form to show you exactly how to do the Romanian deadlift safely. Time to show how it's done.
Buff Army, what's going on? We're going to learn about the stiff leg deadlift, which is actually different than the Romanian deadlift. I'm going to break it down. So watch the form. This is a stiff leg deadlift. It's actually incorrect to say that a stiff leg deadlift, your legs are meant to be straight. Most guys lack the flexibility and will never have the flexibility in order to keep their legs perfectly straight. Having a slight bend in the knees, like I'm doing right here, 10 to 15 degrees, is how you're supposed to do the stiff leg deadlift. The difference between the stiff leg deadlift and a normal deadlift is that you're not bending the knees nearly as much and you're pushing the hips as far out as possible in order to target the hamstrings. Also, look at my neck position. This is usually for most beginners how they should do it, where they actually slightly look up. This is because most guys, when you don't bend your knees, will have a problem keeping your back straight. By looking slightly up, it'll help keep your whole spine nice and arched. Now look right here. This is more, how I would do the stiff leg deadlift. You see my neck position. I just keep it neutral. The hips go all the way out. I try and keep my legs as straight as possible as my body allows. If you'll notice, now this is a back shot. If you'll notice, this is actually, or was actually filmed after I did that big deadlift, 530 pounds. So my flexibility, I'm a little bit tight and that's fine, but this is still a stiff leg deadlift where the key difference is keeping the back straight as always, but pushing the hips out as far as possible and bending the knees as little as possible. Now, I said there's a difference between a stiff leg and a Romanian. This is a Romanian deadlift. The definition of a Romanian deadlift is to go as low as possible on the deadlift without excessively bending your knees. So less than a 5 to 10 degree bend. So you see, for most individuals, like myself including, I'm showing you here, will only be to about the kneecap that you could bring it down. That's a Romanian deadlift. So Romanian deadlift down to the knee, keeping the back straight, pushing the hips out. That's the Romanian. If we go back once again to the stiff leg deadlift, what we're going to see right now in a second is that I come all the way down. For most individuals, I would recommend the stiff leg deadlift because the Romanian deadlift, more than likely a lot of people will tend to execute bad form, not going all the way down, potentially rounding their back. With the stiff leg deadlift, it's pretty intuitive. Shoot the hips back as far as possible, keeping the legs as straight as possible. And ultimately, keep always your back nice and straight. Guys, this right here is the stiff leg deadlift. It's one of my favorite, along with the good morning, to build up the posterior chain, but in particular, the hamstrings. And I can say for myself safely that by doing stiff legs, it's certainly helped to increase my deadlift. Let's review right now the difference we have side by side, the deadlift and the stiff leg. You see the deadlift, I bend my knees a lot more. When I reach my knees, I bend my knees with the deadlift. Whereas with the stiff leg, I'm keeping it pretty straight throughout, only bending when necessary. Guys, that is the difference. Use the stiff leg deadlift.
We love our Romanians and we love more our Romanian deadlifts. Utilize this perhaps as your second or third movement on leg day, especially when you target the hamstrings. That's it. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share with friends, and subscribe. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.